So I recently had an example where we're building a house at the moment. We've got SIPS panels. It's a structural insulated panel. It's a pre-made panel, which is a high density core of XPS foam with OSB board on the outside and the inside. And that itself is airtight, so you don't need to do the inside air tightness layer. And then the floor below is yellow tongue, which forms the air tightness layer as well.
Yeah, right.
Now that's a very expensive product for shipping costs and everything. There's a manufacturer here as well, but it's very expensive to build and install. So a constitution of that is to create the same performance of that panel in a conventional stud frame. So a 90 mil, you'll never get it. So you upsize those studs to a 140 or even a 190, some cases 240, and you put a high density insulation in that, and that wall makeup will perform the same. And cost offset is,
Yeah, interesting.
So you kind of hack the system in a way of like you're getting the same result in a different way.
Yeah. It's all what the client's budget is. Like any build, budget is important, and what they're wanting to achieve. So
Yeah, but so the thing you just explained, half of it sounded like a different language to me, but the thing you just explained, do you get the same result
yes,
for less cost?
yes.
So why would you do it the other way?
Would offset? Why would you? Because the SIPS is a premium product. It is a better product.
But is there a long run it won't last, or you know what I mean? Like, what's the downside? Like, okay, we can go this cheaper way and we're going to get the same result, but
Well, you could get a higher performing wall with less room. So if you've got a tight site, you say you've got a property in Hawthorne and you're 6 meters from boundary to boundary. A SIPS build would be better. You're going to get a high performing wall with a
using
smaller,
less space.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
And I guess on a site like that, 100 mil is a big difference, right? So whereas to get that same performance out of a conventional frame, you might lose that distance. That could be an option. Also, access, time of build, time of year, all those sort of things, all those factors.
So there's things to factor in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So how many people in your team now?
How many of us is there? 5 on site,
Yep.
and then there is 5 in the office.
Nice. Are you still on the tools?
I'm like Mr. Fix It. I fix everything. I like to be on this. I like going to site. I like being on the tools, but it's not my. I need to be elsewhere. If I spend too much on site, the stuff in the office backs up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I do a bit of everything. I do the sales, which I kind of enjoy. I like the chase of the sales. I'm actually doing pitching a job. It's a high value job at the moment, and the client does procurement. That's what he does. So he teaches people how to buy. So he's a challenge.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's like, I know. I see what you did there, Tom.
Yeah. So he's fun in the when I'm pitching the quote to him, and he's trying to obviously cut me down on price. It's a good laugh.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Mhm.
If you couldn't work in the construction industry, so they said, Tom, that's it. We're banning you from construction. You can't go on site. You can't go on a commercial. So you can't do anything. You're not allowed to be a chippy, nothing. What would you go and do tomorrow?
That's a good question.
For a living, not for fun. What would you go and do for a living?
I want to be a game ranger in Africa.
What's that?
Just go like
Shooting stuff?
No, that's the opposite of that. Teaching
Oh.
people to track the animals.
Shooting hunters.
Not yeah. Yes, yeah. Shooting.
That is the opposite.
Complete opposite.
Yeah.
Shooting animals, shooting the hunters.
That's right. Shooting the hunters. Yes. No, I'd love to. I've always liked the idea of living on a game reserve in Africa and getting to know the animals and learn how to track them and things like that.
You could probably do that at Werribee Zoo though, mate.
No,
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit more
it's not
local.
the same. Not the same.
Not the same?
I feel at home. I was obviously born in South Africa, as you know, and I feel at home.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Maybe it's because I'm so far away from the problems on the job, so
Yeah.
I get some peace.
Yeah,
Can't
that's
come
it.
back and fix anything, so might as well have a holiday, have a beer.
Excellent.
That answers that.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to connect with you or find you or learn more about passive houses, where should they go?
Yeah. This is your job, Robbie. This is
I'm setting it up. I just lobbed it up for you to knock it out of the park.
yeah, we've got a website.
We've got a website. It's great.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can work out what it is
Figure it out.
and work it out. What's the website?
You can find me on
Yeah.
coisconstructions.com.au. And yeah, my name's Tom, and call me.
Can I follow you on Instagram or anything?
Yes, Instagram, Facebook. I don't know. Is that what people say?
Follow your journey. Yeah, I'm asking if I want to follow the Tom Coy journey. I'm like
Where
passive.
do I do it?
answers.
Do people say like, what do they don't say their Instagram thing?
You can say like what's your Instagram handle? So
I don't even know that.
what's your their business Instagram handles at Coy's Constructions.
There you go. That's it.
All right, we'll give you the plug here.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Coysconstructions.com.au. They're on Facebook, Instagram,
There you
and
go.
LinkedIn.
See, that sounds much. Yes, I do.
I do this a lot.
Yeah.
Just a couple times.
See, that sounds a
I
lot
don't
better than I.
I don't even get numbers from people anymore. Just say, hey, what's your Instagram handle?
Do you really? Is that a thing?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I don't. I'm too old school for that.
there's I hear the young
me up
blokes
on the
they
ground.
ask the girls, "What's your Instagram?" How do you even remember that?
Yeah, just ask for the number.
Yeah,
Might be easier.
I don't get it.
Times have
Playing,
changed.
playing a different game.
That's
Times
it.
have changed.
Playing a different game. What's next? You know, where do you see Coy's construction in the next 5 years?
Yeah, look. I love my big scary goal was to build the company up to be big enough that it could. I could take the whole team over and build a village in Africa. That was my
Yeah, nice.
big scary dream. The how, the what, the when was not decided, but the dream was there, and that was our focus. So and the drive behind that was similar to what I touched on before. When you're on your deathbed and you got nothing more to give, you're not going to say, "Oh, I was a builder for X amount of years and I built 300 homes." Who cares?
Hmm.
It's not it's not my driver. It's to say, "Hey, yeah, I was a builder, but we did this. This is pretty cool."
Well, you've done that a few times. You did a project in South Africa.
Yes. So there was,
Yeah, and you did a project in Tassie.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
so
a
you-
little bit different.
Was the
Hey,
Tassie one, was that a paid job, or are you saying you did a charity job?
No, I built my parents'
Oh, sorry,
place.
I missed the charity part. I was just
Yeah.
heard going overseas and doing stuff, and I was
Oh.
like, "You've done that."
Yeah, Tassie job is a hard one.
I do
just-
remember
So
when
took-
you were flying down there. You're
Yeah.
flying the team down there as well,
the
weren't you?
team, the truck.
He took the timber on the Spirit of
You
Tassie.
didn't.
Yeah, steel on the. I couldn't get a steel welder down there, so I took the steel on the boat.
Oh,
Can you believe that?
what?
Where's the
What? They
gist?
don't have steel in Tassie?
No, you barely got electricity.
Do they? You serious?
Yeah.
They must have. Tom must have borrowed the. He must have borrowed.
No,
Your horse
the,
and
the,
cart.
Yeah.
the windows, the posies, the trusses, the LVL, all that freighted over there from Melbourne.
You're kidding. They don't do any of that.
No.
Fuck. There's a
Well,
business idea.
yeah, they did, but they were such a backlog. They had 2 years delay.
You're kidding me. How could you possibly
Yeah,
function
Yeah.
as a state?
And if we've learnt anything, it's that time delays cost more than.
that's right.
No,
There you go.
That's
Not
right.
waiting 2 years for posies.
So yeah, it was a killer. But there's only a couple of truss plants, so that they were just all backlogged. But anyway, that's the dream. So to do that, still, I've had some personal circumstances, that's halted that or put a delay on that
Yeah.
currently. But we'll get there.
That's it, mate. As long as the eyes on the prize.
That's right. That's right. You got
That's
to
it
be
then, man.
working towards something rather than
Yeah, and like at the end of the day, you just use your setbacks as an opportunity to grow and become a better person and version of yourself. Like everyone's going to have them.
Yeah.
You're always going to get it. Like there's going to be a time in your life, in everyone's life, where it's going to be fucking hard and you're going to probably hit rock bottom,
yeah,
at some stage.
yeah,
And, from what I've seen over the years with everyone that's ever gone through a difficult time, the ones that have used it as a lesson
Mhm.
and really grown from it come back 10 times better. They
Yeah.
they come back 10 times a better human being,
Mm.
than what the initial adversity of the situation was.
yeah.
And I think that's really important. I reckon it's almost a prerequisite. Right? What do you think
Yeah.
about that? Do you think it's almost a prerequisite to go through some really difficult shit in order for you to have a good level of success?
I think so because it gives you perspective, and it touches on what's important. Well, it's not as bad as,
Yeah,
or it's not as good as this.
that's right.
You think that's bad? Oh,
Yeah,
you
check
should have
this
seen
out.
this. Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, well, we've said this at events and stuff. Like Gary Vaynerchuk is massive on that. It's
Mhm.
like, how do you deal with all the stresses of employing 1,300 people, of doing this, of, when you lose money, when you lose a deal, when you break your
That's
leg.
right.
He goes, I compare it and I go, Well, these are the top 10 closest people to me on the planet. All right. Are any of them dying right now or about to, or do I have news that they're dead?
Yeah.
No, then that's not a fucking issue.
Yeah.
And that's how he looks at it. Now, that's quite extreme example. I get that. But he still has that mindset. And I think it's a really good way to at least ground yourself and say, cool, this is my problem, but that's a real problem.
It's not that bad.
That's not that bad.
Yeah.
We can manage this. I
It's
can
annoying,
get through it.
but,
Absolutely. It's not to say it's not difficult. It's not to say that it's not upsetting, but it's still a way and a tool that you could look back and go, all right, not this. This isn't going to stop me. It's just going to put me back a bit.
That's right, and it's important to reframe things as well. There's reframing it to make it sound like it's better,
Yeah.
and there's also actually dealing with the problem. And there's so many moving parts as I guess anyone's business that it can shift your focus, and it's impossible to not think about it. But you got to try and compartmentalize it, push it to the side a bit, so you can focus and keep carrying on with your day. Where some people throw the toys out the cot, kick their legs up and go, well, poor me, poor me, poor me.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anywhere. You can be that person for a long time and you'll be put in that box. But if you just go, well, that sucks, get on with it.
Yeah.
Move on. And like you said, what can you learn from it? What doesn't break you makes you stronger.
Yeah. And then look, there's an opportunity there for you as well to pass that knowledge on. And then effectively you become that mentor through your experience. That's what a mentor is. It's just someone that's gone and done the things that you haven't experienced yet.
Literally.
Now, most of the time they're hardships. You know,
Yeah.
hey, don't do this. I've done it. It's fucked.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, wow, thanks for letting me know because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And you've just saved me a year's worth of heartache, or you've saved me $300,000, or you've saved me from committing to this relationship with this person, with that consultant, with that subby, with that whatever.
Well, it's funny you say that. It's like that's what everyone's after. That's why people pay mentors and
Yeah,
business
exactly.
coaches and that, because they're looking for a silver bullet. They're looking for a quick win. How can they fast track it to get to the next stage quicker? Because they know everyone's time is running out.
Yeah.
As eventually you're going to reach the time where you go, well, that's it. I can't work anymore.
Some people will. Some people also get in their own way. They're
Yeah.
like, what? Pay 50 grand for that? Fuck off.
Yeah.
It's like, mate,
Yeah.
is that all? Is that all I have to pay?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's how you're fast tracking your position from A to B at the end of the day. And that's where I've always looked at it with mentorship and advisors and anyone that's in my life. Like, how are you going to help me get from A to B? What do I need to do? What do I need to invest? Like, where's that point of intersection?
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. What I've been struggling with lately is that, especially what's been happening in my personal life, is that you get compared to all the time. And then I guess the same thing could be spoken about in any industry. You can compared to this, you're meant to be like this. Says who compared to what?
Well,
Right.
comparison is one of the quickest way to sap the energy and happiness out of your life. Do you know what I mean?
Comparison
Yeah.
is the thief of joy.
Oh, there you go. That's the saying I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And he had it. He had it
Oh,
there. But
wise man.
he's just leaving me fucking hanging and making shit up.
I was like, this is gonna be sick.
Can't wait. This is my
I was like,
opportunity, my time to
fuck
shine.
this up. I'm ready. This is
I'm ready. I'll fucking show him.
yeah.
But yeah.
What was it again? Say it again.
No, I can't.
You
It's
can't?
once only.
Comparison is the thief of all joy.
Joy, not all joy.
Not
Yeah.
all of it, just some of
Fucked
it.
it up twice.
Yeah, but it's so true, you know?
I think people's personalities make a big difference, and no one ever talks about that. Everyone compares to, your style, the way you communicate, or your love language, or
Put you in a box.
yeah,
That's
I
what
think
you are. That's how you should
people's
be.
Personality is the driver of how they communicate, what matters to them, morals, all that sort of stuff.
Values.
Yeah, values is very important,
Yeah.
and how they were brought up and how they see things is very important on the outcomes and the way they see it compared to other people.
Mm.
So it's just hard.
Yeah, so you have a crew of 10 people now. Do you find it difficult to be connected with everyone's values and communicate that the way that they like to be communicated to? How do you manage that process in your business?
Yeah, look, I don't find it difficult
Mhm.
to answer the question. I'm an open book. I say it how it is. I call a spade, so they can read me like an open book.
Yeah.
So they know.
They know what to expect from you.
That's right. So they know that I'm open, honest. I always say to them, families first. So if they have any problem with their kids
Personal
at home
stuff.
or personal things going on, I say, don't worry, sort that out first. Because I know from my own experience, that stuff will consume you. So
Hmm.
if you're not going to force them to come into work while they know they got that problem, they're not going to concentrate. They're going to do their work. Take a day off.
Yeah, it's not going to
Go
be the end of the
sort that
world.
out, then come back.
That's it.
Bigger problems, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you like that clip and you want to watch another one, click just over here. And if you want to watch the full episode, click just over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.